Hi, love. Hello, and welcome to Co-Creative Healing Journey. My name is Greta. I'm a healer, and I post content here to help you in your journey of spiritual growth and evolution. And today's video is just that. This is a spirit chat. We're going to chat with spirit and see what spirit wants to share with us today. This is an adaptation of a reading that I do almost daily where I turn to spirit and say, Spirit, what would you like to share with us today? What would you like us to know here and now today? And I'm being guided to kind of take all of the first three cards straight away. Interesting. Because they're going to be a whole. If we see the first card, we might freak out maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what Spirit has for us. It's always an adventure. A learning adventure. Okay. We've got an overall energy of goddess of creation, transformation, creativity, and wholeness. Beautiful energy. I see. We've got celebrate differences. Yeah. Okay. And we've got seek beauty. Beautiful. We're smack dab in feminine energy today. So the thing about it is that this is a card that talks about creativity in stillness and slowness and how things grow. It's very much a card that talks about how there's creativity in rest, there's creativity in stillness, there's creativity in the slow growth and slow evolution. And really what spirit wants to talk to us about is about how a lot of spiritual growth and evolution happens while we're resting. It happens while nothing seemingly is happening. It's happening a little bit behind the scenes, but it is happening through a process of evolution. And it's important for us to understand that difference and also to celebrate it, because a lot of us are stressing about things and the timing of things, and because a lot of this growth actually takes us out of the context. Maybe it takes us out of relationships or interactions. A lot of things actually we get taken out of because we have to be in our own energy, and we have to be growing and emerging and kind of cultivating our new being and a different state of being. And so it's very different, and it's very maybe different from the energy that society is in. That's very go, go, go. And so, and for some of us, it's also a difference from the way in which we've led life and what we've valued and how we've gone about things. But it's about celebrating that difference and seeking the beauty. So Spirit wants to talk to you about this, to talk to you about your process, so you can see the beauty. But you know what? That's even more, because we've got Master number 44 here. Yes, yes, yes. And master number 44 is a number of systems. So this is talking about how this is the new system of life. This is how things are going to be, and there's good reason for that. So we're going to talk about it. And this is really interesting to me because it's bringing me back to the when we had our pandemic, where so many people were talking about going back to the way things were, and these are pre-shuffled, by the way, so I'm just going ahead to get the cards that we want. But a lot of people were talking about going back to the way that things were before, and not realizing that the reason why it had come is to change those things also. I mean, that's a lot to say that that's the reason why, but that the effect that we could get from that is to learn, is to grow, is to evolve, is to move beyond. And so this is kind of talking up to us about how maybe some of us, and I do that certainly, are evolving and growing spiritually with the notion that we're going to go back to our old selves once we're out of this state. And Spirit is saying, no, 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 it's the new normal. It's the new normal. And this is, interestingly enough, my new earth stone. So we're definitely in that realm of a new normal, a new reality that is emerging and that is linked to spiritual growth and evolution. And it's about seeking the beauty in that. So that's what Spirit wants to talk about to us about. We've got Seven of Cups. We've got the Tower. This is the after tarot, by the way. So the images look like a couple of moments after the ones in the Rider-Waite, in a traditional Rider-Waite Smith. We've got Major Arcana number 8, Strength card, the Tower. These two came up together in another reading, actually. Wow. That was about following the heart. Okay. And then we've got the King of Wands. So let's see what Spirit is saying here. What are you bringing forth, Spirit? Yeah. What this energy does and what the spiritual process does when it kind of stops us and forces us to slow down is to correct a misunderstanding that has been going on where we've been valuing the wrong things. Maybe we're valuing money, we're valuing our basic drives with a snake here, which is sex, but also like food and for speed, need for speed, that kind of energy that we're just valuing showy things, flashy things, almost at like an animalistic level, right? Where what's loud, what's bright, what's salty, what's sweet, that we're valuing those things as opposed to what is really of the spirit, what is elevated, what is uplifted, what is clean, what is pure, what is healthy, and so on and so forth. And so this slowing down needs to happen to break that old paradigm. To break that old paradigm, and spirit is saying not just break it but lay it down, lay it to waste. This is a tower that's done for. It's not going to get rebuilt. The arrow is even aiming for the foundations, right? It's not going to get rebuilt, but instead it is about coming into a space where the human part of us, our animalistic self and our spirit are in alignment, and it's a space of strength. It's about cultivating a new kind of strength. The strength card is also a card that's linked to sensitivity, and it's talking about how there's a way in which we can become powerful and truly powerful in life, but it's a way that necessitates a union between the spiritual and the human. It's not about being in this fast-paced society where we get pulled out of the flow, the natural flow of our being, not just our that's interesting, not just our the natural flow of our spiritual energy, but also our human body, our circadian rhythms, our appetites, all of those things that have their own tempo and their own unfolding. When we get taken out of all of that, or we are following some form of artificial cadence, rhythm, it makes us less strong. So there's just that the notion of the strength, but then how we work that strength in the notion of empowerment. Tell us more, please, Spirit. We have the Seven of Swords, Three of Pentacles, Four of Cups, yeah, and Queen of Pentacles. Okay, this is almost like a cycle. This is a cycle. And I recognize the cycle. It's like being in the spiritual energy, slowing down, liking it. And then there's something shiny that I want to get. So I'm like, okay, let me just go back to my old ways. Let me do it myself. Let me make it happen myself. I start to walk in that way. But you see how it's looking back, looking. I think I'm moving forward, but I'm actually moving backward in my old way of functioning. And then I get caught up. And I'm not allowed. For me, my energy just shuts down. If I'm doing this and I'm not aligned, I'm not moving towards in alignment with my process, I just shut down, and I'm not going to make any more steps until I realign. I don't know how it is for you or for other people, but for me, it's pretty straightforward. If I'm confused, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do next, there's a misalignment I'm headed towards, I'm trying to make it happen in the old way, and it shuts down. Instead, here with the Three of Pentacles, it's a card of cooperation and collaboration. It's about working with the process. And in order to work with the process, Spirit is saying you have to be tired of the old. You have to get to a point where you're just done with the old and you don't want to do it anymore. And you see this cloud, it's often interpreted as divine energy, but for me, this cloud also often comes up as just life. Not life, sorry. Existence, the world, how things unfold. Meaning, it's like, for example, the flow of the days. It's like if you're in a cycle, like I knew someone, right? I knew someone who had I don't think he was addicted to that drug. But basically he had a time where he started experimenting with cocaine, and wherever he would go, he would find cocaine. It would just show up. Like he went to work, his boss had a pile of cocaine on the table, as one will. And he would go everywhere, and we were talking about it, and he was like, it's showing up everywhere. It's like the universe wants me to be doing cocaine. And the thing is, it's not that the universe wants this, it's just spiritual energy, where your focus is, where you're putting your energy, that's what comes back to you. And this person I know has tremendous amount of manifestation abilities. It's just that he's been using them to bring him cocaine, and that's the traditional image is this cloud that brings a cup. And so there's a point where we also have to turn down. Just because it's showing up in life doesn't mean it's divinely intended, doesn't mean that that's what the universe wants us to experience, and so on and so forth. And this is especially true in society. Just because you're really hungry, you look up and there's a McDonald's, it doesn't mean that the universe is saying eat McDonald's, eat junk food. Just because this person keeps popping up, that if and they're and your relationship with them is toxic, it doesn't mean that the universe is saying go be with this person. It just means that that's where your energy and your focus is. It just means that that's how the cycle of your existence is set. It's programmed to manifest those kinds of experiences. And so in order to shift out of that, there has to be the break, which is why you're getting pulled back to begin with. It is so that you can make a different kind of choice with the Queen of Pentacles, a healthier choice, a truer choice, a much more valuable choice. You see how she's looking at that pentacle, and she's seeing her reflection in it. She's holding it up as something valuable, celebrating it and celebrating the difference. And that's what Spirit is also saying. This process will lead you to see the beauty in yourself, the beauty in your life, the beauty in relationships, the beauty in work, the beauty in nature, wherever it is that you're following and you're doing your work at this time. This new way that is going to arise is going to be one that you're going to love and value. But to get to that way, you first have to become disenchanted, dissatisfied with the old, with what just keeps showing up. And I love that Spirit's talking about that, because, well, I agree. But I think it's so true. It just keeps showing up. It just keeps showing up. And that's because your reality is programmed in that way. We do have a Ten of Pentacles here at the bottom. And the Ten of Pentacles is that stable, secure life. It just becomes programmed to be stable and secure to be stable and to be long term in a positive way. But we can program our life to be stable and unhealthy, unprosperous, also in the long term. And we have to be aware of that. We've got the Hierophant here, Major Arcana number 5, 4 of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and we've got Major Arcana number 9, the Hermit. With the Hierophant and the Hermit, there's something about wisdom here. The need to be wise. And there are two different kinds of wisdom. The Hermit is the wisdom where we're listening to ourselves and we're aware of the spiritual energy. And that's what it is. It's what it is. It's like if you listen to yourself, if you listen to your spiritual energy and how it's trying to lead you and guide you. And here he is holding a snake. Love it. So that image comes back. The Hermit is our ability to hold our drives and to be aware of them. But they're not leading us. The light is. Our spiritual energy is. Here we have the dog representing the shadow. So there's the ability to be wise about all the different aspects of ourselves. And we don't have to reject them. You know, here there's also tons of different layers at play. And that's also what feminine energy does. It's the ability to embrace it all. We can be in all of it without it leading us, without it guiding us. What needs to guide us is the Hierophant, and that's, you know, the higher teachings. It can be spirit, right? It can be a card of getting your guidance from spirit. You can be guided by religion, but you can also be guided by morality. You can also be guided by you know, like a contribution, a sense of collectivity and connection, where you are doing what's right for the greatest good. There you go. For the greatest good, and you're investing in that. A sense of purpose. It can be a very different kind of energy. But the Hierophant is talking about a wisdom from a higher source, from a higher space, and allowing that to lead us in our lives. This is talking about authentic wisdom, and this is talking about higher wisdom and how we can merge the two. And authentic wisdom is not always higher, but it is true. It is of us. For example, emotional wisdom exists, but it's not higher, right? It's not higher wisdom. Emotions are of the body, of the personality of the human being. but it has great value. It can teach us so much if we will listen and if we will follow it. There are different levels of wisdom at play, and it's not about choosing one or the other. Again, it's about embracing all of them. And if we can do that, there's a lot of peace that comes in, and with the Knight of Cups, drinking from his own cup, there's the ability to what's the word? Fulfill needs, to have your needs met. You can drink from the cup, and look how there's a plentiful source right in the back. What you're drinking of will never ever run out. You'll never run out of divine wisdom. That's for sure. That's for sure. We'll never run out of even our own connections, right? Our emotions change all the time, for example, in response to what we're experiencing. So there's always going to be the ability to get the insight that we need in order to engage with life, in order to have our needs met in life, in order to live peacefully in life. But it's a matter, first and foremost, of grounding in this kind of space. You kind of really have to ask yourself, what was before? What did before have? That was so great that I want to go back to it. With that, we've got, Treasure Island upside down. Interesting. And we've got TikTok upside down. And Treasure Island talks about lack mentality. Yeah, and TikTok, yeah. And Spirit is saying with these two cards together that it's like we get so focused on the time and how long things take and how long it's been, and on maybe the aspects of being in isolation or lost, or we get lost so much in the experience of it, and what we don't find in it, that we create a sense of lack, that we're unable to see really that we are in movement, that we are headed, we have the bounty with us, and it's the bounty that's part of the process, and it's taking us somewhere new, and we're in the process, we're in the transition. So it's normal not to have those things yet. It's normal not to be there yet. That's the space from which this reading is speaking. It's very important to be aware of this. When you're in this kind of space and you're trying to have this kind of experience, it's very, very important to be aware of the triggers. And that's basically what those triggers are. What's not here yet, what I don't have because I'm in this process, because I'm experiencing this, and of course how long it's taking. And it's gonna take its time. That's what it is. It's gonna take its time, because also spiritual energy with these two, the spiritual and the body. The body is slow. The body's slow. We're talking about an organism that's been underway, that's been in the making for millions of years. It's slow. It evolves slowly, and that has got to be okay also. So let's get some advice. We've got innocence. All is well. All is well. Feline. Love it. I love it. And worthy. Okay. So innocence, first of all, is all is well. And it also talks about not blaming ourselves, not blaming the process, not blaming really anything or anyone. Have a perspective that takes you out of that. And it has to do with fear and the management of fear. When we are afraid, it's very easy to blame. It's very easy to attack. And it's about managing those dynamics so we don't fall in them to begin with. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing that's going wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. It's the process. It's how it unfolds. And it unfolds like that for very, very good reasons. And secondly, feline is talking about how there's an intelligence to this process that you may or may not be aware of, that you may or may not be seeing. But the feline talks about, for example, lions. Lions sleep 20 hours a day, or they can sleep up to 20 hours a day. But when they have to hunt, they're on it like this. They hunt, I think it takes maybe 40 seconds or something like that. They see their prey, they run, they're on it. And so all of this rest is not gratuitous. It's not pointless, and that's kind of the beauty. It's like in this rest, you're calibrating, you're aligning, you're choosing, you're deselecting, you're transmuting, you're transforming, you're elevating, you're alchemizing, you're doing all of this inner work, so that when you then arrive in the situation, in the circumstance, in the moment, you know exactly how to go about it. You know exactly what to do. It's a different kind of efficiency than we are used to. And certainly, if you've been in this process for years, it's hard to kind of see the point in that kind of efficiency. But that's the point of it not going away. It's something you can do for years and then you get back and then you do it. But you have to do it in every single moment. For example, one thing that I've noticed is that I do work, I do a lot of work. And then when I'm done with a big project, done with a big thing, I don't put it out straight away. The first thing I do is rest. And then I'm changing and I'm growing and I'm evolving in alignment with what I have created, and then I will do the next step, which is mind boggling for me because I just want to get there, but I finished it. Let me take the next step, and so on and so forth. But I found that it's incredibly efficient. It's just a different logic, a different way of seeing it. And finally, with worthy, this is just talking about something that you have to give to yourself. We just have to be aware of the fact that we are not allowed to rest. And again, this is very old. Sorry. This is very, very old. Yeah, coming sideways. This is very, very old. This is really back to, when everybody had to chip in for survival, right? And if you couldn't chip in for survival, if you were too old, maybe you got abandoned and left behind. And it's those kinds of things that if we're not working, if we're not producing, if we're not making it happen, then where's our worth, where's our value? That is very subjective, and it can be actually something that people say to you, something that's actually ingrained in you or communicated to you. So there are different levels of this, but you have to be aware that this process is taking that and just throwing it out the window and saying that you have inherent worth. You have the right to rest, you have the right to be. Your worth comes from your existence. You're alive in this world, and that gives you worth and that gives you value. And you don't have to prove it to anybody. You don't have to manifest it every single second. You don't have to parade it on social media or whatever it is. You can just be yourself, and that is a space of worth for you to be in. And that is highly transformative and very, very empowering. And more than anything, Spirit is saying it's something you deserve. You deserve to take that break. You deserve to have that peace. You deserve to just be. Do you be. If you're not hurting anybody, if you're not, forcing anybody to join you, whatever, What more can you do than your best? No one is allowed to require from you anything other than your best. And sometimes your best is to just rest, is to just sit this one out. It's to just give yourself time and space to evolve. So take away from this reading, we've got harmony. Begin and end your day with gratitude and joy. Be happy about what you think, say, and feel. It is that simple. It really is that simple. And you know what? For me, harmony is it talks about being where the energy is. So my go-to example is that if you're in a relationship, for example, sometimes the most harmonious thing to do is to have a fight because that's where the energy is. And so where the energy is in your life right now, where the energy is in terms of spiritual growth and evolution is to slow down, rest, evolve, allow, and that is just the way it is. And it's about us adapting to it instead of requiring the process to adapt to us, to our preferences. And so, love, that was the reading. Yay, I'm excited. This was a good one. I mean, they're all good, but it's like oh, I feel replenished, and I hope that you do too. I love doing these readings because I'm learning alongside you. So that's just, today was beautiful. So thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. And if you would like to know more about me and my work, then please check out the description box. If you would like more of these readings, please subscribe. I would love to have you around. Sending you so much love, wishing you all the best. May you be blessed always and in all ways. And so it is. Bye.